What's up, Motobrats? It's Prashant Gaudi, and welcome to a new series called What If Naruto Was a Chakra Sensor? Or, well, what if Naruto was a sensor? Now, I said that I was gonna do a Pokemon What If, but I'm gonna take a break for now while I do this What If because I don't know how to like express what I should do and what should I not do in Pokemon What Ifs, because in the previous Pokemon What If, that being what if Ash could catch the Pokemon he could have caught, I just blabbed the entirety of the script while not really thinking about it. Not my script, the script that was written for the story. I mean, for the story that the people made for Pokemon. If you guys get on what I'm saying, basically the script that was made for Pokemon, uh, I just blabbed it with some little changes. But other than that, I didn't really do anything. But as I grow more into a competent YouTuber, or well, what if more or less, I'm going to do this stuff. So yeah, I've blabbed a lot, but this is what if Naruto had chakra censoring abilities. So without any further ado, let's get watching. So the story would start out with Naruto's birth. He would be born like in canon, and he would be taken hostage by a guy named Madara Uchiha, who would want Kushina Uzumaki, or more importantly the tail beast that is inside of her. But Minato would use his flying Raijin technique to take away Naruto, but he would see that there's you could say bomb seal, the explosion seal stuck in the blanket, which he would throw, and he would teleport into his house and would keep Naruto. Then he would go back to where Kushina is, who's getting extracted by Minato, I mean Obito, or well Madara, for the Nine Tails, and Ninetales would be released, and Minato would come at the same time to save Kushina from getting clawed by the Ninetales, who is like Genjutsu at this point, who is in a Genjutsu, and Minato would take her back towards where he kept Naruto, and that's when Minato would put on his Hokage robes and he would go and fight Madara Uchiha, while Naruto is like nibbling on his mother's finger. But that's when a sensory ability, not a sensory ability, that's when a bloodlust roams through the entirety of Konoha, and that being Kurama's bloodlust. It is so potent that every single member is scared. Every single member of Konohagakure ninja force, as well as the civilians, are scared. But this bloodlust unlocks Naruto's sensory abilities, and this unlocked Naruto sensory abilities can sense entirety of Kurama's bloodlust, which is fucking scary. The kid wants to die at this point, and the kid doesn't even know what dying even means. He just wants it to stop. But his mother is calming him, and he calms down a little bit, but he's still scared about, well, the bloodlust. Now, due to like absorbing this bloodlust, due to sensing this bloodlust so high, his sensory abilities develop at a rapid pace, an extraordinary, a godlike pace right now, and to the point where he can, well, sense kind of his sensing ability evolves into something much more better, and that being the Kaguya mind. If you guys don't know what Kaguya mind is, it's basically the Uzumaki highest sensing abilities, where the Uzumaki can sense literally anything for their mastery. So normal senses, and after that the Kaguya mind people, that being Karin, and the first Hokage's wife, that being Mito Uzumaki. Now Naruto is also one of them, having the Kaguya's mind, and this also kind of gets better more and more while he senses Kurama's potent bloodlust. But that's when it stops, and comes Minato, or well, Naruto senses someone very close to him, except for the one laying beside of him. So he grabs onto it, this feeling that he grabs onto it, the warmth that he feels right now between both of these people, that are near him, he grabs onto their warmth, and that's when he gets a weird feeling in his stomach that he's like getting teleported or something, but he doesn't know what teleporting even means. So he gets. So now Minato, let's go to Minato. Now Minato came back with the Hokage ropes and has fought Madara, defeating him and going back towards the village where he stopped the QB's Pijudama and teleported him outside of the village so people wouldn't get hurt. And then he decided that he's gonna seal the QB inside his own freaking son, which I really think is not necessary, but Minato is Minato. Anyways, Minato would use his flying Raijin to get back to Naruto and Kushina, and he would then bring both of them towards the sacred sealing place where he has destined, and he would keep Naruto in the altar, and him and Kushina would argue for a bit about why Naruto is getting Kurama sealed inside of him, but Minato manages to convince Kushina that he would seal half of the Nine Tails inside of himself and the other half inside Naruto. Now, Kurama, who is not seeing this, kind of just realized that he has been in a genjutsu and he's recuperating. He senses something, the emotions of fear, more or less. And when he looks down on who it is, he sees a blonde kid, a little kid just being born. Then he realizes who this kid is. And when he looks around, he sees Minato who's doing some hand signs. And that's when comes out the Reaper Death Seal. Minato uses the Reaper Death Seal and comes out the Shinigami. Now this, Naruto has Kaguya mind and a high level at that. But sensing death, like sensing fucking death, souls, Naruto not pisses, yeah, he pisses, but still, Naruto sensory ability skyrockets to the point where he can sense the death omen that is surrounding them, and basically his instincts are getting so high at this point where it's kind of impossible to even stop it. But the Shinigami also realizes that this kid is sensing him, which kind of surprises him because he never thought that no mortal could sense him. But since Naruto is just a fucking kid, his sensory ability is getting skyrocketed a lot. So yeah, Naruto is currently at this point the best sensei in the entire world, and his sensory ability skyrockets anyone. Basically, his sensory ability is the best in the entire world, and people don't even know it. Anyways, the Shinigami does his job where he seals half of Kurama inside Minato, and when the other half he's gonna seal inside the kid Naruto. That's when Kurama retaliates by attacking Naruto, and that's when Naruto opens his eyes and sees the image in front of him. That being the red-haired woman and the white-haired man getting stabbed. He doesn't know what the hell stab means. It's basically a stupid white thing, a claw in front of the stomachs. And Naruto realizes that their life is coming down because currently he sensed death. He's still sensing death to the point where he doesn't even fear it, because people who sense death are fearless at this point. So Naruto realizes that these two people who are in front of him are the closest thing to him. So he registers what they say. He unconsciously he puts this picture in front of him. Currently, he puts this image. He starts recording what his mother and father are telling him and engraves them to his mind, body, and soul, to the point where he starts remembering it every time. He wants to remember this. The kid doesn't even know what the hell is going on, but his first thinking process is that he wants to die. The second thinking process is the first Naruto even thought was he wants to die, and now he wants to know who these people are. And Kushina would say her goodbyes. Minato would say his goodbyes and finally seal Kurama inside Naruto. And Naruto would get knocked out because of all this stress, the bloodlust, the moment of death, and just seeing his parents getting stabbed, which Naruto doesn't know his parents are getting stabbed. But still, this kind of this picture that Naruto just saw engraves in his mind, body, and soul, and he's gonna get nightmares in the future. Just spoiler alert. Anyways, the third Hokage comes in, and Kushina tells her last words to take care of Naruto, which Hiruzen will promise but never do because Hiruzen is a bitch. And Minato and Kushina would take their last breaths and time skip. Naruto would be currently 6 years old, and he is complicated more or less. He's fearless, number one. The stares that people gave him, he doesn't even get affected because that guy fucking sensed death and lived through it. You think he's gonna be afraid of what measly scares? Hell no. My man is a fucking uh, child, more or less. Anyways, Naruto would not be scared, dude, would not even concern himself towards the villagers because he can sense their hate towards him. And Naruto knows he can sense other people now because of these 6 years. And this guy named Gigi, yeah, Naruto doesn't trust this guy because for some odd reason this guy, he feels guilt. That's the emotion that he picked up most when he talks with this guy named Gigi, or the third Hokage. He feels guilt and he doesn't want any part of that. So Naruto keeps his distance with the third Hokage, and he also senses people following him, which annoys him a lot. Really, really annoys him a lot. But Naruto really can't do anything, but he wants to become a ninja. Now let's go to Naruto's personal life. Now Naruto's been having nightmares since the moment he turned 1. He was, his brain can think properly right now. He can like walk and kind of talk. And in the orphanage, he's always getting nightmares that his 2 people are getting stabbed. Yeah, he knows what stab means right now. He would be getting stabbed over this nightmares, and the woman would always tell him, and Naruto wouldn't first understand what the woman is telling, but as he grows on, he would understand every single bit of it, and Naruto would follow it. He would realize that these both are his mom and dad, so meaning he wouldn't ask Gigi who his mom and dad are. He knows about who Kushina Uzumaki, that's her name, the woman being, that's her name, Kushina. And since his surname is Uzumaki, he also just puts 2 and 2 together and names him Kushina Uzumaki, which kind of rhymes. So yeah, Naruto doesn't know the blonde guy's name, but he's figuring out, more or less. So anyways, Naruto would be in a cold place where, not cold place, the snow would be falling in Konoha, where he would meet a little girl named Hinata who's lost from her house. Naruto would sense her desperation, and Naruto would realize that this sensing is called desperation, so he would help her and he wouldn't feel something else. Not right now. Naruto would bring her to her home, and a couple of days would pass, and Naruto would start walking again, where he would hear, because of his immense instincts, he could hear people like bullying someone. Is that the people? He can sense that they are happy or happiness and one sadness. So he would go there and he would see that people are bullying a girl. 2-3 people are bullying a girl, and he would tell them to stop it, and the bullies would turn them and try to tease Naruto for being the demon kid and stuff like that, but Naruto wouldn't really care because he won't know what the fuck demon child even means. Hell, that guy doesn't even know what demon means. He's like 6-year-old. You really think the 6-year-old kid would know what demon means? And if he does know what demon means, shame on you, people. So Naruto would like tell them to leave, and the bullies would go and try to attack Naruto, but Naruto, with his, for some odd reason, his immense instincts that he has gained with sensory abilities, he's able to predict about who's gonna punch, and he just dodges and just kicks people to the and he's easily able to defeat the 3 bullies. Now if you're wondering, Naruto can predict Naruto can use his sensory abilities to predict movements. Hell yeah, he can, like, his instincts are so high that he can like feel the vibrations of the air. He can like sense what the punches are gonna go, and he can also sense the movement, the more movement that the hand is going. Basically, Naruto, with his sensory abilities and his high instincts, can predict movements better than the Sharingan, actually. You will understand when I go in the future. So, Naruto would help the little girl, but that's when the other uh, guy with white eyes would come in and try to attack Naruto because he thinks that he's the one who bullied Hinata, but Naruto would dodge easily and he would just tell him, she's the one getting bullied. I didn't do anything. And the guy would turn to Hinata to confirm this, and Hinata would just nod. And then when the guy looks back, Naruto has disappeared, and Hinata is also shocked that she didn't see Naruto gone, and she develops a little crush on him, which turns to a huge crush. And yeah, at 8 years old, Naruto joins the academy, and the first fight is between him and Uchiha Sasuke. The training fight where the academy decides who the table order, the table order where how who's strong and who's not. Naruto and Sasuke are put together because why not? Because they are eternal rivals, remember? And Naruto and Sasuke would start fighting. Now Naruto does not know how to fight, but he does know how to see movements and predict them because he did it 2 years ago. Actually, that was the first time he could really do it. So yeah, basically Naruto's sensing ability works more as a spider sense at this point because his sensitivity is so high that it works as a spider sense. Meaning, now whenever Sasuke tries to punch Naruto, Naruto just dodges and punches him on his own, which is still immense instinct as well as his already high power. We could say high power in his body. He is able to beat Sasuke easily, and Sasuke develops a small amount of rivalry between Naruto. But a couple of months later, the Uchiha massacres happen, and Naruto feels bloodlust around the village, not the village, but morely a specific area. But Naruto doesn't really care. This bloodlust contains nothing to the bloodlust and death that he felt. Now Naruto, at 8 years old, with his books and the Hokage teachings, he realizes that his father is Minato Namikaze. And Naruto, due to researching all of this instead of just wasting time, he's a smart kid. Naruto's a smart kid. And his mother's name is Kushina Uzumaki, and his father's name is Minato Namikaze, and his name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. He just puts it together. But he won't tell this to anyone because people hate him for some odd reason, and he can sense them. So a couple of days later, he gets to know about Uchiha massacre, but he wouldn't really care because, well, that doesn't concern him. So when he would go home, he would see a kid, being Sasuke, sitting on the lake, looking at the outline, and he can see the, like you could say, scaredness, rage, and most of all sadness, a lot of sadness. So Naruto doesn't really want to join with him, but when he senses the sadness, he realizes that this kid must have gone through what he has gone through. So he would approach Sasuke but not talk to him. He would just sit beside Sasuke, and Sasuke would realize that Naruto is not going to talk to him, the kid that he developed a rivalry to. But he he mentally thanks Naruto for giving him his space, and both of them at that point develop a small bond. Now years would pass, 4 years to be exact. Due to Naruto and Sasuke would become super awesome friends, will become best friends for life. Meaning the Ashura Indra's reincarnation wouldn't really happen because Naruto and Sasuke has become best friends for life. Naruto would confide into Sasuke about his family, which would shock him at first, but he would be glad that Naruto trusts him so much. But that's when Sasuke would confide his troubles and his family situation about him and how he hates his little brother. But Naruto can sense a little hesitation about it, and when Naruto asks him, that's when Sasuke tells him that he saw Itachi crying, but he doesn't believe it. And Naruto can also sense Sasuke's hidden power. And when asked about it, he would just say that it's about Sharingan, which he wants to unlock, how all Uchihas should unlock it. But he doesn't know how to unlock it, so he and Naruto would find it out. And Naruto would just ask Sasuke to add chakra to his eyes, and Sasuke would do, and boom, Sharingan unlocked. When Sasuke would ask how the hell this happened, Naruto would just say that Sasuke already unlocked his Sharingan, but just didn't know how to re-unlock it, more or less. Now this Sasuke would be grateful, and that's when Naruto and Sasuke would start training. Now Sasuke would quickly realize that Naruto doesn't really have anything to do with it except for his weird, a godlike instincts and prediction skills. Hell, even Sharingan can compare to Naruto's prediction skills. Due to his Naruto relies on his prediction skills, how to predict movements a lot, so he becomes a lot more unpredictable. Meaning Sasuke has to push himself a lot more, so he attains two Tomoe Sharingan during one's training, and Naruto also gets to learn something from Sasuke, that being the Fireball Jutsu and the Uchiha Taijutsu style. In these 4 years, Naruto and Sasuke create a super bond, a great bond actually, and Naruto and Sasuke push each other to a lot lengths, a humongous length, but Naruto hides his true power, and Sasuke also hides his true power because Naruto wants to learn the truth about why people are hating him. And Sasuke also wants to learn the truth about his friend's behave, the village's hatred towards his best friend. And Sasuke kind of hates the village for hating Naruto because, from what he sees, Naruto is the sweetest kid he has ever seen, his best friend. Basically, Naruto and Sasuke are inseparable. So when Sakura tries to know in the classes, when Sakura tries to flirt with Sasuke just ignores him and talks with Naruto, which kind of begins a Sakura hatred for Naruto, which Naruto does sense, but he really doesn't do anything. Now, due to Naruto becoming friends with Sasuke, he doesn't go and seek refuge with Iruka, and Naruto already doesn't care about most of the things, meaning he doesn't have that relationship like the grandfather-grandson relationship with the third Hokage. He just calls him GG a couple of times, but that doesn't mean he really means it, and the third Hokage even knows about this. But anyways, Naruto and Iruka and Naruto would really not have any relationship, and Iruka would still this, but Iruka would come to understand that Naruto is not the QB, but he and Naruto would never have that relationship. But during the training, Sasuke would find out that Naruto's chakra level are so high that he can't use the clones, and Sasuke decides an alternative. Why not just use something that is more effective, like your chakra amount? And Sasuke and Naruto would search the entirety of the damn things, and they would still won't find, but entirety of the damn Uchiha library, but they still won't find anything. But Sasuke and Naruto would get a few jutsus. That's 2 lightning jutsus and 2 fire jutsus. Lightning jutsus are lightning style, lightning palm, and lightning style, lightning bolt. Basically, lightning style, lightning palm is gathering lightning in the palm of their hands and pushing it. Basically, like air palm, and lightning bolt is basically in a finger and like a finger shot. The rail gun. Yeah, basically lightning style rail gun. Yeah, it's a better name. Anyways, for fire style, Naruto and Sasuke would learn the Phoenix Fire Jutsu and the flamethrower jutsu. Basically, it's a continuous jutsu until your chakra gets exhausted, which Naruto can do amazingly. And basically, that's Naruto's strongest jutsu right now. Sasuke and Naruto can both do the fireball jutsus, and due to Naruto's pushing Sasuke and Sasuke pushing Naruto, both of them could easily do it without any real trouble. Meaning, and Sasuke already has 2 Tomoe Sharingan at this point during the 4 years time skip. Now after that, Naruto still doesn't know the counteractive for shadow clones, meaning when the test would happen, Naruto would fail for the first time, not the third time, since he didn't take any exams before that, because he was not overconfident taking exams. Naruto would fail 3 times, and not 3 times, 1 time, and he wouldn't care kind of, because he knows that he would be sad more or less, because he wouldn't be with his bestie, and Sasuke would patch him in the back. But that's when Sasuke would go home while leaving Naruto alone, because Sasuke knows that Naruto needs his time. That's when Mizuki comes in and tells Naruto about the secret test, but Naruto would instantly figure out that it's a fake. But his gut tells him that he should go with it because it might be interesting. Maybe he might get some new jutsus. Maybe. That's a question. Maybe. But and Naruto decides to trust his instincts and goes with Mizuki to steal the scroll of sealing, and he does easily. And he realizes that Mizuki is gonna come, so he gets two important jutsus. Now he writes one of the jutsus down, and the second jutsu he practices right itself. The first is the Shadow Clone Jutsu, which he's practicing, and the second, which he's writing, is the Flying Raijin Jutsu. He needs the experience for the, you could say, sealing techniques, but he would do it. Now he knows his father's specialty jutsu, and he wants to learn it because it's his father's jutsu. Why the hell wouldn't he learn his father's jutsu? And by the way, Naruto is much more healthier than canon. He doesn't always eat ramen because he remembers his mother's word to eat vegetables, to make friends he could believe in and confide in, as well as to take a bath daily and not have girls which are like bad, and use them for his own good, not drinking till 20. Naruto listens to all of this, and yeah. Anyways, Naruto, after learning the Shadow Clone Jutsu, that's when Iruka would come in. And since Naruto and Iruka doesn't have any, that kind of relationship, Iruka would attack Naruto, but Naruto would dodge and ask why Iruka is attacking him. Iruka would tell him that Naruto is a traitor, which Naruto would just get confused. But that's when Naruto would put two and two together, and he would say that Mizuki is the one who told him to do it. But Iruka would not believe him, but he would say still to listen to what Naruto has to say, even if it is an excuse, because he thought Naruto was not the demon, but he is showing him to be the demon. But that's when Mizuki would come in and reveal that he was the one who told Naruto to do it, and that's when Iruka feels so bad because he didn't trust his own student. But that's when seeing this, Mizuki realizes that Iruka almost attacked Naruto, and that's when he would tell Naruto about the secret of the nine tails inside of him. This would shock and angry Naruto. Number one, it would shock because the thing that killed his parents is inside of him. Number two, the village, everyone knew about it except him. So he kind of hates the village, and he doesn't normally hated the village because he didn't really care, but now he kind of hates the village. And that's when Mizuki would take this opportunity to throw a shuriken, but Naruto would already sense it and jump even before Iruka could move. And then he would create shadow clones and create 1,000 shadow clones, and he would beat the pop out of Mizuki to the point where Mizuki would be dead. And yes, that's Naruto's first kill. Naruto would just eye Iruka and just walk back to the Hokage's office, giving back the scroll towards Gigi, and just walk back to his home, that being Sasuke's place. And Naruto just moved into Sasuke's house, even if the third Hokage really didn't want to, Naruto really didn't care. Anyways, Naruto would come back, and he would see Sasuke awake, and listening to him. That's when Naruto would confide everything about the nine tails inside of him. And Naruto thought that Sasuke would push him away like everyone did. Like Iruka thought that he was the guy who stole it, but Sasuke would just hug Naruto and apologize for all the pain that he has been having, which Naruto having a hug moment, and they would have like a bromance moment. And yeah, since Sasuke knows that Naruto has a Jinchuriki, more or less, and Naruto also tries to teach Sasuke his clone jutsu, but it quickly becomes apparent that Sasuke can't use it because of Sasuke's so low chakra. Even if his chakra is higher than in canon, he's still not enough to use the shadow clone. Anyways, the next day, Naruto would go to the Hokage's office, where he would demand a headband, and what is his name? Hiruzen would ask why should he give him, and Naruto said he bobbed a Chunin, killed him, and he thinks that it should be a better way to give a headband. Now, Hiruzen also wants to know more about Naruto because Naruto has been avoiding him, so he would take his chance to know it, and he would ask, "You almost betrayed the village." Naruto then says, I killed the village for you. So I think that accommodates for me trying to betray the village. I killed a damn traitor. So that accommodates for me betraying the village. So basically, and I killed the damn thing. So give me my damn headband. Hiruzen would just sigh because he wanted to know more about Naruto, but this doesn't happen. So Hiruzen just tosses Naruto his headband, and Naruto wears it in his neck and runs off towards the damn building where the teams are selected. Now Naruto would come in and he would eye Iruka. A little bit of hate would be seen in his eyes, and Iruka would catch it. But Naruto would quickly go to sit where his seat is, which is beside Sasuke. And that's when the team would be announced. Every team would be sane, and Hiruzen would especially put Naruto and Sasuke together because he knows that if he breaks this relationship that Naruto and Sasuke has, who knows what might happen to the village. So Naruto and Sasuke are put in the same team, and Sakura also is put in the same team. And that's where we are gonna leave for this episode, guys. If you guys like this video, like, share, subscribe, do the necessary stuff. And if you don't, I can understand.